Greetings, friends and Firebirds fans, and welcome to the Fire and Ice Podcast, the official podcast of your Coachella Valley Firebirds of the American Hockey League. Coming to you from Palm Desert, California, a mere wingspan away from the Firebirds home ice of Acrisure Arena. I'm your host, Judd Spicer, along with this endeavor throughout the Firebirds' inaugural season. Additionally, I've had the privilege and pleasure serving as the Firebirds Insider, penning articles for the team, which you can find online at cvfirebirds.com. Of course, that's your home for all things Firebirds, including, but certainly not limited to, merchandise of all manner, shapes and sizes, team apparel, tickets to future Firebirds games, and much, much more. Again, that can all be found online at cvfirebirds.com. Just about 40 hours since the season concluded is when this episode, I should say, the farewell episode for this season, the Coda episode, the final flight of Fire and Ice, as it were. Yeah, just 40 hours removed from Game 7 of the Calder Cup Finals, which, as many of you listeners already know, was won in pretty dramatic fashion by the Hershey Bears. Kudos to Hershey, grabbing their American Hockey League record 12th championship in their storied history. And yeah, friends, as I've said to pals, colleagues, as I've said to team ownership and staff and far, far beyond over the course of the past day and a half, it's a bitter pill. It's a scar. It's a tough one to swallow right now. Not going to revisit all the games herein. Not going to revisit the mesh of stats and outcomes and shots and all that was over the course of this truly magical, remarkable, improbable, and incalculable season. That goes from the team debut all the way through this 26-game playoff run. But it hurts. And I know that there's a lot of catharsis out there. There's a lot of empathy out there in that I don't trust I'm alone. I don't believe I'm alone in having recently, if not a couple months ago, I would probably say using the word destiny, if only to myself. Never felt comfortable saying that to the team or coaching staff in any interview that I conducted. But at some point in recent months, I think it was during the Calgary series, to be perfectly honest, after we won Game 3 in triple overtime and at Acrisure Arena till midnight, that to me just felt like this remarkable gateway to all manner of possibilities in this inaugural year. And yeah, the word destiny is one that I just simply could not let go. For everybody that stayed so close to this remarkable team across this just truly thrilling and enthralling introduction to our desert, yeah, maybe some of you felt that too. Of course, that was not to be, but it takes nothing away. It takes nothing away from the wave that we all rode together. It takes nothing away from the journey. It takes nothing away from the odyssey. It takes nothing away from the remarkable experience. It takes nothing away from what I've been now quoted as referencing as a communal phenomenon that we experienced. We knew it was going to be exciting. We knew it was going to be fun introducing professional hockey to our desert, unveiling Acrisure Arena. But let's all be honest, we never knew it was going to be like this. It was so much more. It was much, much more than we ever could have envisioned. And for that, I thank the team. I thank the staff. I thank the coaches. I thank everybody that gave me the opportunity to cover the Coachella Valley Firebirds in this debut year. That ranges from a host of folks, including but certainly not limited to Evan Pivnik, Gina Rotolo, Dan Bilesma, Troy Bodie, and many, many more. Certainly all the players that lent their time to this endeavor and the articles I penned over the course of the season. It was just a magical ride. It was lightning in a bottle. It was once-in-a-lifetime stuff. And the fact that the Birds did not ultimately hoist that cup, again, it takes nothing away from so much that was accomplished here in our desert home. And as anguish eventually, hopefully soon, graduates to appreciation, and we're able to look through that lens and eye this inaugural season through that very prism, yeah, I think that appreciation, that gratitude will only grow. On this Coda final edition for the season of the Fire and Ice podcast, on Friday afternoon of this week, again, just about 40 hours after the conclusion of the Calder Cup finals, Firebirds held a series of exit interviews. So I've got 5 fellas for you here, ranging from just a couple minutes in length from their media interviews to a few that are about 8 or 9 minutes long. It's going to start with Andrew Poturalski, segue to Max McCormick, move on to Tye Karte, going to pass it over to Kole, and then conclude with Ryker Evans. Not going to take breaks between sharing these presser-style interviews. I'll just let you know that roster once again. Andrew Poturalski, Max McCormick, Tye Karte, Kole, and Ryker Evans. Also want to acknowledge the other media members who were present during these exit interviews, all of whom did such an exceptional job. I respect all of them so very much in the work they did, all the time and toil they put into making this season so special. From the Desert Sun, these are voices that you're going to hear, by the way, during these exit interviews. From the Desert Sun, Shad Powers and Andrew John. From NBC Palm Springs, Tim O'Brien and Tali Latoi. From KESQ, Blake Arthur and Bailey Arenado. No, I screwed that up. I knew I would. I'm sorry, Bailey. Bailey Arredondo was also there, asking great questions. And from Pro Hockey West, the good Mr. Scott Strandy. Again, big backslaps and kudos to all those media members and peers and colleagues here in the desert for doing exceptional work all season long. One more thanks before we get to these exit interviews for the season. Additional thanks go out to Brian Bluesky of the Desert Sun newspaper. Some of you may have read in recent days, at least the online version, of a very nice article that Brian penned on this very program and yours truly. That came out this Thursday, online at thedesertsun.com. I think maybe, perhaps, just kind of a guess, but sensing that the print version of that article talking about Fire and Ice will come out in this Sunday's edition. Again, thank you very much for that one, Brian Bluesky. That offered, that prefaced, folks. Let's get to these exit interviews.
Just if you can kind of summarize the year for us and give us your thoughts on start to finish.
We had absolutely no expectations coming here. We knew it was kind of a destination town, a lot of nice golf courses, but as far as hockey-wise, didn't really expect too much out of it, and it's been absolutely incredible. You really can't put it into words how cool it's been to be a part of this and see how the fans have supported us and the community has, just loved us, and that feeling is completely mutual from us back to them. We love it, we feed off them, and it's such a cool place to play. And I brag to all my friends in other spots where they're playing about how much I love it here and how much fun we've had, and I just can't say enough on how much fun this season was and how big of a success it was.
Tough way to lose, a tough way to go out, but what's next? What's this week? What's next year for you?
Yeah, absolute gut-wrenching loss there. It's going to sting for a while, and we're a super competitive group in there, so I think everyone has that same feeling in their stomachs, but it is what it is. It's part of life, and you got to take positives from it, and this was a heck of a year. We competed, from start to finish, faced so much adversity, and ultimately we came out on top, and we're a bunch of brothers in there. It's a season we'll remember forever, and get home, get some rest, get some, not too long of a summer here, get right back in the gym and start working out again, and get ready for next season.
Not to, psychoanalyze, but these last 40 hours, man, kind of an interesting clash of emotions. I think that, talk with all these guys and gals, and there's definitely a grieving process, but at the same time, a celebration and a recognition of what an amazing, successful season it was for you personally. Have you been going through that same thought process the last 40 hours, I guess?
Yeah, I think night one, I was talking about every play in the game that maybe could have went different, that we could have won. Then I was analyzing other games in the series maybe could have won, and my wife told me, it's over with, you got to just let it go. And It's just such a hard thing, when you put so much time and effort into it, and it comes down to one goal at the end. But yeah, we're just a bunch of brothers in there. We all love each other. It's something we'll remember forever. We'll always have something to cherish, and being an inaugural season, making it that far, and like you guys all know how cool it is playing here and being a part of this. So it's super special to us, and just kind of got to celebrate the last couple days here with the guys, and you never know what next year is going to bring. Some guys' faces are going to change, but it was so much fun.
Andrew, you mentioned you talked to some friends you have around the league about what it's like to play here. Do you think that the arena, the crowd, the atmosphere will be an attractive thing for other free agents that might consider coming here? Or, is that something that's building around the league, word's out?
I think maybe I should keep it pretty quiet. We don't want too many people to know the secrets. But yeah, I would imagine, guys that are trying to line up to play here, especially guys who are going to be in the AHL. But, we're so fortunate to be a part of this, and we've worked so hard and made it into what it is, and it was just incredible to be a part of. But yeah, I'd imagine a lot of free agents will want to come here.
Right. You've been through a lot of AHL off seasons. This is kind of the first for some of us. How much turnover do you think there will be, and will it be unusual to come back in September, October with some new faces and some faces gone?
Yeah, every year, that's kind of the tough part about ending a season is you look around that room and there's just no way that those same 20 guys who played in that last game are going to be the same 20 to start next season, and that kind of sucks. And that's just part of our life and part of our sport. But decision-wise, I have no clue. That's not. I have no idea what they're going to do. It'll be interesting to see. But you'd like to think with how we competed this year and the team we had and how close we were, that hopefully get a lot of these guys back. Hopefully, other teams aren't going to offer them too much money to leave us. But I'm excited that I have another year to be a part of this and this organization. And at the same time, it's so cool for us to be here, but every single guy also wants to be in the NHL too, so it's a cool spot to be, definitely when you're working to move on to the next level.
Botsy, one word to describe this bunch. You've been around the league, you've won 2 Calder Cups. Just if you had to summarize what this group has been in one word, what would that be?
So hard to do one word, but I'd say competitive. Every single day, every practice, everything we've done. I've told stories before, like we've played small ice games and one team lost, and the team who lost is yelling at Dan to let's go another round and play again. And I've never been a part of something like that before. Or on the golf course, guys are wanting to play extra holes if they lost, or no matter what we were doing all season long, everybody competes, and I think that's what you have to do in life to be successful. You need to be competitive and want to win. So that's our team.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Andrew, you mentioned how there were really no expectations for this team this season. Now that you guys have had the season that you guys have had, on a Game 7 Calder Cup final, come so close, do you think the expectation level for the team will be different next year coming into the season?
Absolutely. You make it this far, you know what it takes, you've been there, and you want to win it all. We have that feeling of losing and that sour taste in our mouth, and we want to get rid of it, want to come back and win. So, like I just said, though, like being a competitive person, you always want the most and the best, and it's nothing shy of a championship. So, it's always the goal.
You're used to particularly short off seasons, given all your success in this league and being to the Calder Cup. How do you use that compact time where some other players have 4 months, 5 months to rest, would do whatever, get healthy again? How do you use in that time, and maybe you talk to some of the other teammates like, hey, you got a real compact space to make use of that before the next run starts?
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to navigate, and now that I've been through it a couple of times, I've learned from it. I think after my first Calder Cup, my body was pretty banged up. I thought I needed a lot of time off. I did that, and maybe wasn't as prepared coming into training camp. And then last summer, I knew that, and pretty much instantly when I got home, I started working out again, started doing all my stuff. Maybe not lifting as heavy right away, but at least getting the body moving right away. Because, like you said, I was coming into a new organization where they had an extra 2 months off than I did, and I knew that going into camp, it was going to be hard for me to make up that time. So with these long seasons too, these are the ones where you want to take more time off to let your body heal, but it's actually the opposite. You can't take that time. So I think I've learned from that and just try to get back in the gym right away and get the body moving, get things right. And I'd say that's what helped me a lot. And I felt pretty prepared coming into training camp last year. So I hate my summers. I like playing hockey in the summer. So yeah, gonna just get right back at it. Same thing as last year, and be ready to go in September.
What do you want to say to the fans? What do they mean to you? A lot of unknowns coming here to the Valley. Not a huge popular sport here. To see how much it changed, even up to last night, 2 nights ago.
A simple thank you doesn't do enough justice for the gratitude we feel towards them, and we have so many fans thanking us for bringing hockey to the Valley, and they say the Firebirds have done so much for them, but without their support it's nothing, and the feeling is so mutual. We love them. We love playing in front of them. They make us feel special, and we just want to say thanks for everything that they've done, and it's just been unbelievable.
Andrew, can I piggyback on that? What, out of all the things that have happened in the fan experiences, is there one that's going to stick in your head? Just one moment that you go, this is it?
I just remember skating around in pregame in the home opener when they had the first time we saw the red lights buzzing on those things, and I just had a huge smile on my face ear to ear skating around on the ice when they had the lights off and those red things going, and kind of just chills thinking to myself, how cool is this? And it really never let up from that moment on to the rest of the season up until Game 7 there. And these fans are unbelievable night in and night.
Max, if you can just kind of summarize the season start to finish. It wasn't the way you wanted to end things, obviously, but when you look back at it now after a couple of days, has it sunk in at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a heartbreaking loss and not the way we saw things going. It's tough to see the positive in things, fresh off a loss like that, but after you have a few days to reflect, you can look back and see what an incredible season it was, and how the team came together, how the community gathered around us, and kind of became a hockey town. So I think it was a pretty special season.
Can you give us one memory with the fans, something that happened from start to finish that's just going to carry with you forever?
I think maybe the home opener, just coming down here to the desert, not really knowing what to expect, and coming out to a sold-out crowd with a ton of energy. It was a pretty cool moment.
Max, we're going to see on your jersey being the captain of this team. How much pride do you have in that, knowing that this is a historic season and inaugural season, and this team will be remembered really forever in the Valley, and you're the captain, you're the leader of that team. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's a huge honor to be the captain of this team, and I think we really built a culture here, and a culture on work ethic and being good teammates, and just the way that the guys worked all season long in the gym. Guys are fighting for ice and pucks post-practice to work on their game, and how competitive we were every game, every practice. We always showed up, and that's what gave us a chance at the end to be there right at the end and have a chance to win it all. So I think we built something really special here.
Max, how would you describe this group of individuals on this team? You've been around so much hockey, but I just reflect on you guys all teeing it up, playing golf together, having fun. Just describe this group.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of guys. Like the fun we've had together on the golf course, on the bus trips, dinners on the road. We've got such a close, tight-knit group. All the routines we have pre-game, guys are constantly laughing, chirping each other. Super competitive group. Every time we're doing anything, it's just a really special group, and it's sad that we got to go our separate ways here and the season's over, and it's not going to be the same group coming back next year, so that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's kind of something that we're all going to, both the fans and us, are going to get used to, this transitive nature of the AHL every year. Not, like you said, the same 20 guys aren't going to be in that locker room. Is that difficult, especially as a captain, to kind of like keep that culture going, like you said, when there's going to be some new faces?
Yeah, I think, that's just the business of the sport. Pretty much at any level, you're going to have turnover, you're going to have new faces. But I think a lot of the core group's going to be back, a lot of the young guys will be back, and I think we've built that culture, and guys that are coming in will feed off it.
Max, do you think, since the team was so successful this year, that the expectations will be a little different next year, maybe even higher than you guys had coming in this season? And can you just describe what you expect that to be like?
Yeah, I think we will expect to be a good team again next year and be competitive every single night for our fans.
Was there a moment for you throughout this season where you started to realize the positive impact that you guys were really having, where we live, the amount of enthusiasm and pride that you were giving this community, and not just limited, man, to the walls of Acrisure Arena, but beyond? Was there a moment for you or an experience for you where you realized that the larger degree, I guess, of the impact that you guys were having?
Yeah, I can't think of one specific moment, but I think just throughout the season, like the hospitality of this community and the way they took us in and made us feel at home, and showing us around the city, taking us to nice golf courses, coming to the rink and supporting us every night. There's just so many examples of the community gathering around us and making this a special place for us to play.
What did it mean to you guys, and you specifically, the other night after the handshake line? Nobody left their seats, everybody on their feet chanting, "Let's go Firebirds." I get chills even now thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a special moment. We left it all out there and didn't leave anything, and I think the fans realized and could see how competitive we were and how we gave everything we had to the very bitter end, and I think they appreciated that, and I think that's why they stuck around and gave us a little chant there at the end, and that meant a lot to us as well.
Now, for everybody that's not familiar with the off-season, it's short for you guys now, but what will you do and how will you prepare for next year?
Take a couple weeks off here, just let the body recover and relax, and your mind as well. Like it's been a stressful, really focused, you're dialed in every single day, and then now it's over, there's nothing, so kind of let your body and your mind just relax and recover a little bit, and after that, get back in the gym and eventually get back on the ice and start working on your game and getting ready for camp.
Summarize the season now. You've got a couple of days to look. It didn't end the way you wanted to, obviously, but when you look over the last 7 to 8 months.
Obviously, like you said, it didn't end the way we wanted to, but we came a long way from being on the road for the first 20 games and being in a hotel in Seattle all the way to the finals in Game 7, and we really came together as a team, and it was a special group we had here, and I think we were all really thankful to be a part of this team.
You talked about you going up and down between the big club and this club and adapting pretty well both ways, but is there a memory that you're going to take away from your teammates here in Coachella Valley?
Just like a specific one?
Yeah, you got one that sticks out?
Well, there's a lot of them, but I think the one that would stick out to me is Game 5 against Calgary in overtime. Obviously, that was a pretty crazy game, and then to win that, and then just being on the ice after winning the Western Conference, kind of with the teammates taking the big group picture there. I've never experienced that before, so I thought that was pretty cool too.
What about the fan base? Is there one moment as a player that you said, this is a fan base that's really behind us, something that just jumped out at you?
Well, I think just all the support throughout the whole season, like from right when we got here all the way through playoffs, and it even grew in the playoffs, and we were sold out every night. So, we can't say enough about how much the fans meant to us.
Tye, the goal, of course, for you guys is to play in the NHL, but how special was that for you to get the chance to come back and play the final stretch with the Firebirds?
Yeah, no, that meant a lot. That was great. I was glad to get back and get right back into the thick of the playoffs here with the Firebirds, and I was just trying to help us get to the ultimate goal, which we came pretty close.
Can you explain what's been going on in your head and your melon for the last 40 hours since Wednesday night?
I think just a lot of thinking about the season as a whole and reflecting, because obviously it's pretty easy to just think about the result at the end there and get consumed in that. But I think when you take a step back, there's a lot to be proud of for myself and obviously for the whole team.
I want to ask you to compare between, you had your Game 7 in Seattle, Game 7 here now. You've had a little bit of a taste of both. Safe to say, though, this fan base has cemented itself to that big league feel. I mean, that environment Wednesday night was unbelievable.
No, for sure. Obviously, like, it was sold out every night, and it's not just sold out. Everyone comes and they're loud, and it's fun to play in front of, and we couldn't have asked for anything more.
So what's your off season going to be like? Maybe next week, and then into the future. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish?
Just kind of get back home, and then take a little time, get the body right, and then just try and keep getting better over the summer. I think it's a big summer for me, and obviously I think all the summers are important. So try and take advantage of the time we have off to try and get better.
Is there something you think you need to do personally in your game to get it to that next level, to stay up in Seattle?
I think there's a lot of things guys can work on. I think nobody's perfect. I think you can get better at everything, but I obviously think the skating and just the decision making with the puck and stuff is something that everyone needs to work on, and obviously myself to get there and stay there.
Did you ever think you'd be playing hockey in the desert, let alone playing in a Game 7 in June from the Coda Cup Finals?
No, I never did think that, especially in this spot. But like I said 100 times, it was such a great season.
You referenced that when you kind of looked at the big picture, they've already gotten to a place of appreciation. I don't know if is there a talk with a teammate that you had, maybe a conversation with the staff or coach that's helped bring you from, let's be honest, the anguish that we all felt Wednesday night and probably some of yesterday, and to graduate to a place of appreciation at this point?
I don't think there was a specific conversation, but I just think not. I don't really know. Just kind of trying to get past it. Obviously, it's gonna sting for a long time, and it's not something that won't hurt. Just kind of happened, and we can't change it now. So just try and think back on the good times, because obviously that one's gonna sting for a while.
I feel you.
All right, thanks, Tye.
Thanks, Tye.
Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate your time. Yeah, you too. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
The season for us, it didn't end the way you wanted to, obviously, but when you look back at it now, I've got a few hours to do that. How was the season? What would you say in summary?
Yeah, definitely successful for lots of the season. It definitely stings, and it's definitely gonna, stick with us all. This experience, going to Game 7 overtime in the Calder Cup Finals. Even for the young guys, it's not just that we lost. It's all the experiences we had along the way. We had Game 5 overtime against Calgary. We're put in numerous different situations where we definitely thought or other people thought we were down and out, and we knew we weren't. So overall, definitely happy with how it went, and good experiences for sure.
All the memories that you shared with your teammates, is there one that you're going to look back on in 10, 15 years and go like, this memory was one that we'll never recreate, but I'll always remember it?
Yeah, I don't know if there's one single thing that I can point out from all of it. It was the whole experience was second to none. I think a very popular answer will definitely be beating Calgary in Game 5 overtime. But overall, I think every single day was so fun to come into the rink. Guys just love being around each other and sharing, little chirps in the room or whatever it was with each other.
This process as a professional hockey player takes many phases. What do you want to do, and what do you think you have to do to move yourself to the next level?
Yeah, like I said, happy with how the playoffs went. Team success comes through or individual success comes with team success. So I think everyone's definitely going to be happy with how the playoffs went individually. But, without a championship, things are definitely different. For me personally, just want to continue to work and grow my game each and every year. It's not just a numbers thing. I can feel it in my game each year. I'm getting better and better, and I'm still developing for sure. And that's something that I definitely want to focus in on.
I don't think anybody enjoyed playing in this arena more than you. Maybe Joey, but
Yeah.
you get pretty fired up out there, and rightfully so. Just looking back, I know it kind of still stings, I'm sure, but how much fun did you have this season, just as a whole? Looking back, just enjoying the moment, the experience of being a part of this historic team.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's not even when you're playing. It's walking around the different cities in the valley, and someone coming up to you and say, "Oh, you play for the Firebirds. You're getting a meal somewhere," and everyone. The hype around the town was second to none. Coming to the rink, this was, the most fun I've had playing hockey ever. Every single day coming to the rink, I'm so excited to play with the group that we had and in front of the fans that we had.
Well, you're a restricted free agent this summer. Can you tell us what your expectations are kind of moving forward?
Yeah, really I've got no information so far. With the playoffs going so long, obviously it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround to start to think about that. I'm definitely looking forward to what's to come here. Definitely wanting to be back and get a chance to play. And yeah, I really have no information right now at all.
Yeah.
Kole, at some point, and this is a word that I shared with some friends and colleagues yesterday, that I was careful not to use this word because I feel like you guys are superstitious, and so I never said it over the course of the season. But at some point it gripped me that it felt like destiny.
Yeah.
I felt like it was destined to win the Calder Cup.
Yeah.
I know it hurts not to, but did you ever believe that this was a team destined to accomplish this?
Yeah, not that we were underdogs, but the way we kind of went through everything, it kind of felt like a little bit of a Cinderella story almost. Just the way we handled adversity, we battled through so many things. It didn't even start in playoffs. It started game one for the first 3 months being on the road, staying in a hotel. We grew so much as a team there, and then getting here and, like I said, not really knowing what to expect from the fans and how the valley grew, and we all combined and rallied over one thing. You definitely felt there was something in the air for sure.
That the outcome notwithstanding, I trust that we'll all grow to a point of, in the near future, of a more appreciating rather what a run that was. Are you at that point yet, or take you a little time to exactly get there?
Yeah, Game 7 overtime, there's nothing that really stings more than that. I think you can see it in my game. I'm a pretty emotional player. Sleep's been hard to get the last few nights. It's just thinking one shot away from a championship was the difference. But definitely you're going to look back on this and be happy with how successful we were and how we battled and grew as a team, like I said.
Kole, I asked Coach Campbell before Game 7 what she'll remember most about this journey. She said it was the people.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about the people in the room, in that locker room,
Yeah.
organization. It feels like this is something you guys will never, regardless of the outcome,
Yeah.
never will forget.
Yeah, like you said, regardless of the outcome, coming into the rink every day was the most fun I've had ever playing hockey. We had a group of many different characters in that dressing room, all very lighthearted, and we were able to joke every single day, and just the laughs we had. It wasn't even just the teammates. It was the coaches, the training staff. You could go anywhere, joke around with anyone, and have a good time. That's how I like a dressing room to be, is very lighthearted and not quiet, dialed in. Like, obviously when it comes down to game time, you got to be ready to go, but with how we handled it and how we were able to stay lighthearted and enjoy all the moments at the same time was definitely something that I'll remember.
So going into the summer, how do you get away without having a goalie kiss every other night?
I know. It'll be different for sure. Lots of them this year, a lot of wins this year, so it'll definitely be different. I'm just gonna, try to enjoy my time off here a little bit, and then, like I said, get back to training. My brother's hoping to get drafted next week at the draft, so I'm headed out to Nashville for the week, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Lindy, one word to describe this team.
Just special. I mean, it might be cliche, but this is far and away the most special group I'll play with in my life. Some of my best friends are in that locker room, and yeah, that's definitely special to be it.
Thanks, Cole.
Appreciate it, man.
Not the way you wanted to end the season, but when you look back at it now and you've had a few hours to think about it, can you summarize the season as a whole?
Yeah, obviously I think all you guys can say it's been pretty crazy since the start of the year. Just how we started in Seattle there. I kind of brought us together there in Seattle, staying in a hotel for 2 months, getting to know each other pretty quick. And then, coming here, it's pretty special. Playing in front of those fans and every night, it gets me up, it gives me chills. Stepping on the ice, how loud they are. So, it's been a pretty crazy year, a lot of learning. But, we're excited for years to come.
Coach has told me a lot about you in particular learning and getting better, but as a defenseman in the AHL, how much did you get better, and can you quantify it at this point?
Yeah, we had an unbelievable coaching staff that allowed me to learn the game a lot more. And those guys in the room, we had an older group this year, so just learning different things they do off the ice, on the ice, to be a pro. So I was just taking little bits here and there.
Ryker, you had said that this was your first time coming to California when you came here, and did you ever think that you guys would be embraced, a hockey team would be embraced like this here in California, the way you guys have been?
I didn't really have any knowledge as the hockey experience, but they absorbed everything. To see them rally together, it was awesome. Just surprised would be the only thing I was of the outcome and stuff. It was pretty cool to see.
Ryker, obviously the prospects for you and your future are sky high. You came here with a lot of expectation, and not only did you meet those, you oftentimes exceeded them. You had an exceptional season, a terrific postseason. If you're ultimately with the Seattle Kraken next year, how would you look back at this time as a foundation of your pro career?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty special, a rookie season, to get a group of guys like that, that kind of they kind of let those young guys come into the room. They made super comfortable for us since the start of the year, which allowed us to kind of play our game. That was super special for me, especially you're obviously nervous going in your first year pro. It's a big step, so they made it super easy, and that'll be something I'll remember forever.
Ryker, we've been asking some of the other guys what maybe their favorite moment from the season was. I know you had the game-winning triple overtime goal. Was that maybe your favorite moment, or was it something else?
The home opener was pretty special to see the turnout there. I'd probably say the Milwaukee when we won the Western Conference there. The building was electric, and then obviously we won that, so that'd probably be my favorite moment for sure.
Have you been able to take a few minutes and reflect on just how important you guys were to this community, what you meant to this area where there was a bunch of unknowns to start the year, fast forward now to June, and just how important you guys were?
Yeah, I haven't really looked back too far yet, but I will for sure. The impact has been huge. We see guys up there on the ice surface, and they're brand new to the game, so to see them going out there and trying new things, it's been awesome. I love seeing little kids starting to play hockey they've never really heard of hockey until we came here. So I mean, it's awesome to see.
What's the summer look like for you? Obviously, a little bit of training. I imagine some rest and relaxation. What are you planning to do before training camp starts up?
Yeah, do the same thing every year. Go back, work on different things that you kind of take notes during the season on what you want to get better. So rest up for a couple weeks here and then get back at it.
Thanks, Ryker.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, friends. One more time, that roster of players who appeared in those exit interviews in order: Andrew Poturalski, team captain Max McCormick, Tye Karte, Kole, and defenseman Ryker Evans. I want to thank them for all their time. I want to acknowledge additionally for you, again, if I may, the other voices that you heard asking great questions during that media presser. From the Desert Sun, Shad Powers and Andrew John. From NBC Palm Springs, Tim O'Brien and Tali Latoi. From KESQ, Blake Arthur and Bailey Arredondo. I think I got it right that time, Bailey. And from Pro Hockey West, Scott Strandy. Firebirds friends, so appreciative of your time, your interest, your ears, your continued support of this endeavor, the Coda edition of the Fire and Ice podcast. One final flight, and that's going to wrap it up for this endeavor in this magical inaugural season of Coachella Valley Firebirds hockey. Everybody have a great summer out there. Thank you again so very much for tuning in. You be well, and remember, as always, one valley, one team, rising together.